have with putting way too large of an inverter on way too small of a battery is this concept known as inrush current. And when I think about inrush current, I think about short-term loads that are shorter than continuous output. But we have to be a little bit more, we have to take that a little bit with a grain of salt, because National Electric Code says a continuous load is a load that's sustained for 3 hours or more. Now we have these other load ratings on the inverter that say it can go up to, it can increase its output by 50% for a half an hour. We also have these 1 minute ratings for the inverters that are even higher than that, and these 10 millisecond ratings that are even higher than that. Traditionally, inrush current refers to, millisecond loads, or maybe up to a 5-second load. So an inrush current would be very short duration. But what is that? Well, inrush currents are when you have large capacitors inside your device that need to dispatch power for a very short period of time, like starting up a motor, or in solar speak, our inverters. Our inverters have large capacitors in them to suck up that DC electricity and carefully squirt it out into the electrical system in a nice refined AC sine wave. And so we're storing, we're storing a good amount of power for a very short period of time and dispatching it over an interval that could be measured in milliseconds. The same capacitors that can discharge that electricity quickly will also suck up electricity quickly. And that can cause, for the very first time, when you're turning that inverter system on and those capacitors are empty, that inrush current just naturally flows into those capacitors and charges them up. And so what happens, you get into inrush errors when you are turning equipment on for the very first time, whether they be charge controllers or inverters, as well as other inrush instances for loads, like when a well pump is starting for a very brief period of time. And so you could go and say, all right, for this example, we have a surge rating of 310 amps, and our battery surge rating is 130 amps, and so we'll need 3 of those batteries so that the battery matches the surge rating of the inverter itself. And so you can run into a problem with too small a battery, really a missized battery, too small a battery on too large of an inverter, even when you don't have the load of the full capacity of the inverter. You could still have the capacitors inside the inverter that when you turn on the load for the first time, they absorb so much inrush current that it triggers an error in the battery management system.